Hey people, how you doing? This is Casey for Cafe Comics, Anime, Film, Entertainment. I'm here with my boy, my homie, Ace, the coach, and his son, Elijah. So hi people.
Hello. What's up?
Today we're gonna be talking about something that has been bothering me for a couple of time, and it's a good time that you head up to me and say, "Hey, let's talk about something new. Talk about something different." You bring your son aboard, and let's do this. And one of the things that I've been asking myself, what about nostalgia nowadays, and the problem with nostalgia and creativity? Which one of those is the problem right now with the film industry? Without mentioning the other, TV series or big screen, small screen. Is using nostalgia or the lack of the creativity? I don't know which one is worse. But before we start, I want to make a note. I'm using Wikipedia for source. Let me share a screen with you, and let's see what's the meaning of nostalgia and creativity before we start discussing. All right, you don't mind?
No, go for it.
All right. Let's do this real quick. Okay, it says right here nostalgia. Let me see. You guys see it? I think it's small, right? Let's put this bigger. Man, yeah, let's put this bigger. I think it's there. Yeah. Nostalgia is the sentimentality for the past. Typically for a period of place with happy personal association. I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna jump right here. It says nostalgia is associated with a yearning for the past, its personalities, possibilities, and events, especially the good old days. Yeah, the good old days. Or warm childhood. All right, let's go to creativity. Creativity is a phenomenon whereby something somehow new and somehow valuable is formed. Created item may be intangible, such an idea, blah, 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 or physical object. So, without further ado, let's start discussing now that we know the meaning of it. So, guys, what do you think about the industry, film industry, and TV, the media? Is it lack of creativity, or is it the nostalgia that they're using to grab the people for cash and grab? What's your point of view?
Let's do something. Go back to the. Can you share the screen again, please?
Oh yeah, don't mind.
Let's go.
Which one you wanna see? Nostalgia or nostalgia. Okay, let's go to nostalgia. Okay.
All right. As you see, all right, we've read this, right? Nostalgia is a sentimentality for the past, right? Typically, a period or a place with happy personal associations. Let's leave it right there. All right, let's go with creativity, please.
Okay, here we go again.
A phenomenon whereby something somehow new or somehow valuable is formed. All right, so, and your question is, go for it.
My question is it the industry, the film industry or TV has problems with creativity nowadays, or is it they're using nostalgia as a cash and grab?
So I believe if we take both of them, right? The nostalgia of a film, of a brand. Let's put it like this: of a brand, right?
Got you.
Oh wow! What comes into mind is bringing back the old TV shows, old movies nowadays should click in, right? Should click in like this new generation, something more creative. But what we're getting is, I think we talked about this in our last podcast, right? That it's a fluke. There is just flatline, because it's not catching all the audience's attention or their liking, right? Point blank, the nostalgia is just going to capture a certain group of people. It says it right there. Nostalgia, bringing back things from a different era. We have a young adult here who doesn't know half the things that you and I know, right? and
Dang.
that's his side of the story is like, where do you see the nostalgia in Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Disney's Industry, DuckTales, Star Wars? I mean, like, unless he does the research and goes back into those old films, he won't actually have nostalgia. He'll see what they created today. It's like, oh wow, that looks super cool. But then he'll go back. It's like, oh wow, no, not as cool as I thought. The other one was better, or vice versa. Like, oh yeah, this era is really good. You know, you get what I'm saying?
I know.
The nostalgic process of versus the creativity is only going to tap into a certain level of the audience. Not everybody's going to have nostalgia.
Good point, brother. I got you.
I think that you can be nostalgic on a show while not alienating any new viewers by providing the context of the old, whether it be through subtle little details or like memories, like in Cobra Kai. They constantly show flashbacks to the old movies and what happened during them and why it's affecting the show now. And like, it's interesting to me because I don't know the old movies, but I like the show. And it's a good show.
It's a good point you're bringing.
And then you have me who's seen all the movies. I mean, like, I've even seen the movies before I started seeing Cobra Kai, right? Because being nostalgic, wow, I was a kid. This is like one of the first martial arts movie. I practice martial arts. It's extremely inspirational, motivational, like uplifting to see the old and see how it's evolved. And I will say that the new, or actually, the Cobra Kai that does not hold the Karate Kid's name, because he's not a kid anymore.
Nope.
So is one of those films or series that I could say, like, you know, they hit creativity and nostalgia infused in such a great level, well balanced.
A good example. I can. Hey, let's go there. Let's name like 4 or 5 films that you think that was nostalgic but didn't make it. I can name you 5.
Go for it.
You mentioned like a couple of them. Transformers. It was a nostalgic movie, but the rest of them, except the first one, was good. I bet one thing though, that Transformers 1986, I think it was, the animated movie, I could put it again this year, today, and it's much better than the Age of Extinction, Transformer 2, Transformer 3, or whatever. Just the
Knights of, I don't know what the
okay, and the problem is you can go the other way around. Let's say G.I. Joe. My God, let's not go there. Okay, G.I. Joe. I thought it was good, but hell no.
Oh hell no!
I remember those movies. Those movies were bad.
They're bad. They're bad. That's what I'm saying. You see the lack of creativity. They're using nostalgia, but the movie is crap.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing I got, let me see, you got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. You said it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles of today is whack compared to the first one of the old time. The first one from the 90s is way much better. Even the Shredder was better.
Mm-hmm.
And if I compare another movie, let's say, what's an old movie?
The Disney remakes.
Oh. Dang you! Oh my God! No, I gotta go and say, let's go with a good movie, trilogy. Let's go with a trilogy. Lord of the Rings.
Oh, Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings is based on movies. All right, they've made another reboot or just a remake for a prequel. Let's say a prequel, The Hobbit. Do you think the prequel was better, or the old ones were better than the prequel? For me, the old ones were better than the prequel.
The Hobbit should not have been split into 3 movies. Personally, it could have fit in 2. They did way too much effort to make it 3 different movies, in my opinion. but they're both like on that same world building of like they're both equally good, but in just different aspects.
Yep. Think straight.
I will say, and here's the literature freak in me.
Go
You know,
ahead.
they're based on the books. The books are extremely long. And if you come to see, I think it was 1974, 75, where they had the original Hobbit animated movie. It's one of the longest animated movies ever.
There's a Hobbit animated
Yes,
movie?
there's a Hobbit animated movie. And when you look at that, a Hobbit animated movie, and you look at now, I will say the
I
nostalgia.
read the first. Not the animated.
The animated is not good. All right, I have to say that. For me, I did not like the animated, but then looking at the movie, I gotta concur with Elijah right here. They did too much effort to cut it into 3, and it had a good base, but it required more creativity and less nostalgia.
Okay, I got you. I see you. Now let's go where a little bit where the controversial comes along. Let's say Star Wars. Ooh, I went there. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry, I went there. Okay, let's go Star Wars. The 4, 5, and 6, which are the original, right?
Mhm.
Excellent. No problem with that ones. Now let's go with the prequel. People got problems with the prequel, but it's okay. It was a political issue. What it made and explained what happened within Star Wars. Why did the Star Wars happen? Right. So I got no problem with the prequel. Me personally, I don't know. I'm like that. I'm built like
I like
that.
the prequel. I like the prequels.
The prequel was good. That's what I'm saying.
Great.
Now, if you
There's
go,
a great opening to the 4, 5, and 6, but I think I know where you're going. I'm gonna let you. Sorry about that.
now let's go 7, 8, and 9. The Star Wars Awaken. It opened my eye. I was like, "Whoa, we got Finn. Whoa, a Star Trooper who deserted, and he wants to be, maybe Force sensitive. Maybe he become a Jedi. I don't know. Ooh, where this going?"
In the first trailer, they showed Finn using the Force for it. Then they deleted the trailer and threw out a new one where he doesn't anymore. And I was so excited to see Finn using the Force because it was a stormtrooper.
Thank you, Elijah. Thank you for bringing that up. Because you see, the second one, they reckon everything. They wrecked the movie up.
They wrecked it completely because of the director change. The second director took way too many creative cuts and changed so many things from the first one that it was basically a completely different story, and it didn't make sense anymore.
It didn't make sense. You see a old Luke Skywalker who doesn't want to train nobody, and then comes this girl along bringing his lightsaber. He tosses it to the back. That's what's disrespectful right there. Then let me continue. Okay, let's go forward to the last one. We know he died. He made himself dust. I don't know what happened. You see people that are beginning to have knowledge of the Force, but you don't see them during the movie. Then you see the ghost, Yoda ghost, comes to make a appear, aligning. A lot of things that didn't add up. So those 3 lap movie, what do you guys think of it? I don't know. It was nostalgic.
I let the youth come up and say something about it.
Go ahead, Elijah.
I like the movies as individuals, but not as a coherent story. And the characters would have made more sense if it was a coherent story instead of treating each movie as an individualized movie. Because all of the character arcs that they had, they kept changing them. The only one that stayed consistent, in my opinion, was Luke's, because Luke's made sense. It's 20 years later. He's already seen so many tragic things happen. He just doesn't want to deal with the Force anymore and want to train anyone. So he was the only one that story made sense. And the movies as a whole seemed more like Ben's story from the dark side to the light side than Rey's story as a hero. Rey didn't make any sense as a character in the movies for me.
Okay. Those were the Star Wars movies, right? We talk about the movies. Now, check this out. Now, creativity comes along. It brings The Mandalorian.
Oh,
Yeah.
Small project come TV and comes through TV or streaming services, whatever. And guess what? That one was better than those three movies combined.
oh yes.
Because the arc, it goes a little down.
Cowboy
goes up
Adventure.
again. Oh, I think
I got to give it to him. You heard, it's a cowboy adventure. It brings nostalgia of a bounty hunter, a cowboy that just goes rogue and has a sense of empathy
For the child.
for life. When he was raised in the way, and the way is the way. Away from it, right?
Oh, it has the same code as the Samurai and the Cub. I think it's Saitochi, or what's the Samurai and the Cub? The same theme, and you see it's nostalgic, like you said, and you said the creativity in there was so good. It was well written, and then you see it in the picture, and it was a masterpiece. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to sound like I'm riding on this, but it's
100%
good.
agree with The Mandalorian. It actually shows. I mean, we talked about this in the previous podcast that you and I did about the hero's quest, right? They literally show the hero, the Mandalorian, and how he evolves, how he meets allies, how he fights the enemies, how he finds the magical elixir in the cave, how he has to continue to grow to become who he is at the moment. And the best thing that the Mandalorian series did was they showed every step of it without losing nostalgia, timeline, and creativity.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with Hollywood or the film industry nowadays, that they're banking or hoping that people with nostalgia is gonna go and hey, something from the 80s. Let me bring you another thing, and it's from the streaming services, and it's called Stranger Things. Stranger Things was good too. The only problem is they exploited so much about the 80s stuff that it came over. Like, for example, it came Wonder Woman 84. That was cringe to me. I'm sorry. It was cringe. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it was cringe.
I liked it.
You liked it? Okay,
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about it. So let me see what you like about it.
We watched it on Christmas Day, and it just felt like a superhero movie. It didn't feel like it was overly trying to do something like all the other DC movies had done before, other than Shazam and Aquaman, because those felt like good movies too. Like the two Wonder Woman movies that they came out with so far, they just feel like good superhero movies that they don't have to prove anything, and they can just slide in these little effects and things around, and they just feel good.
Okay, I respect your opinion. In my opinion, I didn't like it because it wasn't. I didn't feel like it was a Wonder Woman movie. It was more like a genie making people wishes come true, and then she didn't want her dream come true, and that's why she wanted to become, or she had to resent her dream or whatever.
I think what they tried to do. This is just my opinion, and this is the literature man in me, right? They with that movie, they tried to combine mythology, which Wonder Woman is a goddess, right? She's a goddess. She's not a superhero. She's a demigod, and they're bringing in mythology into
Magic,
into a magical world, right? It was okay, but what really got to me was
Cheetah.
the cheetah. I mean, like, she never gave up her powers, and she lost all her powers.
Because
Mm-hmm.
because the thing that made her cheetah was him giving her extra stuff. Remember, near the end of the movie when they went inside the big place, he was just saying, "Give this to her, this to her, this to her," and she became the cheetah. It just didn't feel like Cheetah. That's the one thing I didn't like. She didn't feel like Cheetah. Because Cheetah, I'm pretty sure, got her powers from like a magical totem she found on excavation once.
Yep.
And if they bring her back, they need to bring that as her like real origin. And the thing that happened before was her taste of power and why she went after it.
And that's where we're going back to your main question, right? Is nostalgia versus creativity. They brought nostalgia, bringing back Wonder Woman 84, right? But adding creativity, they kind of messed it all up a little bit, you know?
Yeah, man.
A lot of people, I mean, like you can see the audiences. Some people are the nostalgic ones, right? You'll be like, oh, well, it's okay. It's good. They brought Cheetah back. Whoop-de-doo. You bring in the new era, and they're like, wow, that was pretty creative. But didn't this really happen in the past? And it puts them out. So bringing that aspect of creativity really just messes up with the timeline and with the story writing of the origins of all these nostalgic films that are coming up.
It had a good amount of nostalgia, but the amount of creativity they took with it killed it.
Lack of it. Yeah, man. So coming back at that same question, is creativity or nostalgia better, or which one is you think is better? For my point of view, so we can start wrapping up, is like you need a balance between these two. That's my point of view, is you need a balance from it, because I've seen movies mention of one of them, which was I think is this is a gamer movie. I think is
Ready Player One.
Ready Player One. You got it. Damn, this
I like that.
boy's on point. Jeez. You got it. Ready Player One has so good cameos and good. It was good. I mean, it was. I know it's based on a novel, I think, or a comic book, whatever. But it was real well written and well played. It was good. What can I say about that movie? It's good. So, and it brings you nostalgia because you can see characters. You say, "Hey, I remember the Battletoads. Hey, I remember that one. I remember Hello Kitty. I remember." It's a lot of characters right there. You can see Goro, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Freddy. I think it was Child Play 2 was in there. Many characters. The Iron Giant. You name them, bro. Whoever is a gamer should go blast with this movie. So, guys, you think that creativity will always come ahead of the nostalgia?
I wanna add before we get into answering that question. So the concept of bringing in nostalgia, and as we already went through the definitions, well, there's been studies that done and made that when you ask somebody, I need you to write me 5 to 10 stories of the nostalgic moment of your life. When they've done this exercise, it's brought a creative sight in their mind of how things could have happened. I believe that by bringing in these nostalgic movies and series elements, the new generation will have a better concept of grasping more creativity. I think that's what the Hollywood industry is doing, or the film industry is doing, trying to bring in the old so that the new can see, hey, we've come from this, and now we're here. Can you guys make something better?
I understand your point.
All this,
I understand your point.
We have to work, right?
But I don't see. You see it like that, but I don't see it like that. I see it like you don't have creativity. Let's do something from the old days, and
that
people will see it, and that's it. We'll just rearrange something new, and that's it. But what happened with, like you said, something from the old days, and they mess it up? Another thing that they messed me up was Game of Thrones, man. Game of Thrones was old enough. George R.R. Martin made that, I think is what, in the 90s. They bring it up, and guess what? Once they ended with the books, they start being creative, and they messed that up too. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I like the ending of Game of Thrones.
I didn't like the ending because you seem like everybody changed 180, 360 degrees, bro. 180 nothing.
180.
360 degrees.
I will say I'm
Came
one of
back
the-
again. Yeah, 360. I said it. 360. I don't care. So, what you guys think? You think that nostalgia is still going to get, a heads up against creativity, or creativity is going to get
I think
better?
that they're two separate poles on the same like graph, and to have a good balance, you have to meet where they both hit 50-50 without killing each other. But because if you go too creative on a very old concept that a lot of people like really love, you're gonna kill it for those people, and that's gonna kill the reviews, the ratings, and all that other stuff. But if you take something that's creative and add too much nostalgia into it, you're gonna kill it for newer people that don't want to watch it because they don't know what's going on, they don't understand what's happening in it. So you have to have these two separate poles hit each other in the middle and stay, or else it'll be too creative and ruin it. It'll be too little of creativity and ruin it, or it'll have too much or too little nostalgia for that fan base, and it'll ruin it for them too.
Brother, you I could have said better than myself. You said you were on point. You hear that? It wasn't us, the old guys, the nostalgic ones. It was the young, creative guys who said it. People, he said it better than I could have ever said it. Right? Am I right? He said it good.
You're right.
There you go. I think I have to say nothing less. I don't know about you if you want to say something else, but
Nah, I think he hit it on point.
you hit it on point, my brother. Elijah, I'm gonna bring you over to the dark side, to the channel more often, brother. You can speak good, bro.
I know.
I can get it from you. All right.
That's why
So,
we're friends.
anything else you want to add up before we wrap this up?
That I mean, like I think we've hit all the points. We've gotten to the conclusion. I mean, like he said it better than us. He said it better than us.
Yeah.
He's a new generation, point blank. We will cease to exist anytime soon, and his nostalgic era
Will come in.
while ours will just dissipate. So I think he hit it right on the nail.
I suggest people who start looking or want to see movie, hit the reviews and see what's up before you start yearning and looking. Oh, this is so nostalgic, because if you do and you end up like
It's a trap.
you're gonna end up in the trap. You spend the money, spend the time, and then you say like, this crap. Yep, gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So people, I'm gonna say bye here from Comic Time for Entertainment. If you like this content, continue to subscribe, plus like, share with people, and you will be seeing me doing a lot of stuff in Spanish, but I'm trying to keep it continuing, bring you stuff in English. So yep, say
Can I
goodbye
add
for
one
today.
more?
Yeah, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
I think more directors and writers need to look at certain nostalgic movies and TV shows and see that are good and not bad, and see like this worked for them and this is why it worked. So why don't we try mimicking that, but not completely copying the format? That way they can still have something creative while having a base guideline for like, hey, this worked and it was good and people liked it. So we should try having something that will be good and people will like it, and not alienate anyone and not just have a little bubble.
He ain't lying.
Okay, nothing else, brother. All right, man. I say goodbye from here from Comics, Anime, Film, Entertainment. People say goodbye over there, and like we always say, peace.